Icewind Dale, home to the most hardened of frontiersmen, pioneers, and nomads. Beyond the sporadic dots of civilization dwells terrifying beasts and deadly monsters. Each night, before midnight, Oril takes to the sky and weaves her spell of ice and darkness. For 2 years, the north of Faerun has been covered in everlasting rime. From Dugan's Hole to Lonelywood, from high atop Kelvin's Cairn down to Mare Duwalden. Hungry and cold, the population of Icewind Dale huddles together in empty homes, praying to the gods to end Oril's reign. Their prayers were answered. Heroes summoned by fate have vowed to break the Frost Maiden's spell.
Hello, everyone. Welcome one and all to tonight's Rime of the Frost Maiden game. Oof, I was going to call out another stream. I am Simon at Wandering DM, and though we are missing 2 players tonight, we are going to go ahead and continue our adventure. I have been left with instructions on behalf of Etten. Thank you. As to what Etten will be doing, or at least will be doing for part of the evening anyway, part of our game. That said, I'll just pass the mic to our players so they can introduce themselves, and then we'll get right back to where we left off last week. So let's begin with someone who's probably very nervous tonight. Hi, Tumai.
Hi! Let's go get my boo. Let's start. I will be playing Elise today, and I am so excited to finally save my dear prince of the prison.
Right next to Alize, we have Justin.
Hello, we are here to rescue people.
Who are you?
I'm a rescuer named Ragnar, who is not a bird person, and he is definitely here to make sure everything goes off smoothly, providing things go well with a weird woman upstairs who has a dwarf inside of her.
Yep.
I feel I missed something.
Oh, we'll do a short recap. And then, last but not least, Kelly coming back after last week.
Hello. Last week, Sarkia knocked herself stupid on a window and got knocked out because Kelly was sick. And she is going to apparently be waking up. But I'm making the judgment call that, she could hear everything they were saying, including let's bury her in the snow. Sarkia is, in fact, a wizard. Mostly.
Yes.
Mostly.
Mostly wizard. And as for what happened last week, basically the party went to... Oh, sorry for that Windows sound, everyone. The party entered Revel's End, the prison in the middle of nowhere, in the far north of Icewind Dale, a place where the criminals from influential families or places, those with power, are normally sent to rot for a certain amount of time. We're talking a maximum security prison in the middle of nowhere, where we'll send people that we cannot execute necessarily because there would be major consequences. The party was approached by the warden of said prison in a very friendly manner, Martha Marthanis, as the party discovered, a harper who is also possessed by the spirit of her dwarven friend, which causes no end of problems. I think that's a sentence. Anyway, there are words in there, just put them in another order. It might work.
Certainly made dinner interesting.
It made dinner interesting, that's for sure. And apparently, everyone in the prison knows about the situation. She sort of knows what to do about it, but hasn't done anything yet. Since, her purpose is to stay at Revel's End, and she will do so until she's relieved of her duties, and then she will probably head south to, put her friend's spirit to rest. While you were chatting with her and having a lovely dinner, she also showed you around the prison. You discovered that the prison right now was occupied by 6 prisoners, most of them spread out in cells so that they can barely see or talk to each other. The cells are guarded by guards hidden in like a stone bunker in the middle of the complex with very, very large, heavy crossbows pointed at every direction possible. The warden, however, did not really see any issues as to you wanting to speak with some of the prisoners. Like she said, there was absolutely nothing else to do here, and you also graciously offered yourselves to escort the one of their prisoners, prisoner 452. 454 to back south, basically, where he belongs. This prisoner, a blind drow man, was accused of stealing books and then in Candlekeep, and then murdering 2 of the Avowed that finally caught up to him and tried to bring him back to Watcher's Keep. Unfortunately, he escaped and was found by bounty hunters and brought to Revel's End until the Lord's Alliance decides what to do. The problem is, like we discovered last week, is that Candlekeep falls in a sort of gray area as far as the authority of the Lord's Alliance is. So he will probably die in this prison unless someone decides to either spring him out or bring him back south to Watcher's Keep. At the end of the dinner, the group split into 2. Ragnar heading into the office of Martha Marthanis to speak with her privately, and Etin and Alize downstairs on the first floor, ready to begin interrogating Mr. Rinnell. Etin told me that the moment this begins, 2 seconds, Kelly, he will cast Zone of Truth. So, Alize, if you want to resist it, you're gonna have to roll a wisdom save. You don't have to, But if you want to,
Let me try.
I am looking
Ah,
for.
Etten.
What's a spell save DC?
8?
No, his spell save DC is higher than that. I got it here. So you have to beat a 14.
Okay, let's see. Let's not start with a whammy. Oh, hold on. The Andy Beyond is like so. My roll?
I don't see anything.
Hold on. Let me refresh.
Are we having problems? Oh, I just discovered that we might be having a problem with Twitch. Having
Oh,
a
yeah?
problem with Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah, which
then
is why you
let's try
probably
this
heard
again.
me twice. I just need to
Yes.
fix something.
Did it roll?
I didn't see anything, but can you tell me what is the number that you rolled on D&D Beyond? Like, I mean, because it might just be the extension that's out of. Oh, wow! It finally rolled. It finally rolled
Many times.
many times.
Oops, sorry. They're all coming out now at the same time.
So your first original roll.
Doesn't count, of course, because we're talking.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll start fresh. We'll start fresh. Click once, and I'll take the next one.
Okay. Let's see.
All right.
Yes!
Etten knows that you can lie. Now the fun part with a drow is they're resistant to magic. Etten will just bend down, and like lean closer to your ear and whisper, Alize. He can lie.
Good.
But right before we go into that, Sarkia, you had a question.
I just don't know where I am.
Oh, you are upstairs, currently lying on the table, where they had food. Well, they had to like lie you down somewhere. You were, unconscious.
Where they were eating?
The table is like 20 feet long. They didn't need all
Still,
20
that's
feet.
just unhygienic.
You were like
Goodness.
10 feet away from them. But basically, if you look at the map on D&D Beyond, you would be here.
You mean
where
on
I'm
roll
pinging.
20?
On roll 20, I'm sorry.
I was confused.
So, tower level 2. You are where I am pinging.
Okay.
And Justin right now is in this room. Sorry, Ragnar is in this room.
Okay.
And
So Sarkia would first like to try to put her character down here. Thank you. Or I'm very small.
yeah, the proportions on this map are
I can't make myself bigger. You'll have to do that. Anywho, so Sarkia will wake up and wonder where the hell everybody is. Because she's, laying on a table and she doesn't remember getting here. So I would like to make a perception check to see if I can hear Ragnar and the dwarf lady in the other room. At least like muttering so I know there's people around.
since your passive's a 14, yes, you will hear it.
Okay, so I'm going to sneak over towards the door and try to actively listen.
Okay. I'll get back to that in a moment.
Okay.
However, you do not hear Alize downstairs because she is 200 feet below you. Rinal is sat on the chair across from you. Etten, the spell having been cast and basically wasted, would just say, "Do you want me to leave you some intimacy?"
Yes.
I'll be on the other side of the door.
Thank you, Edson. Could you also let me know if anybody else like tries to snoop around and come close?
You'll hear me. I will say hello.
Awesome, that will work. Thanks, Edson.
And he exits the interrogation room and closes the door behind him. And the moment he closes the door, you hear, oh, hello. So you know there's at least one person, like, nearby.
Okay, good to know. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, kids. So does he like notice me? going in there?
So he's kind of in a daze. He probably knows that you're there because you remember when you entered the prison, his his mantra, whatever he was like repeating over and over, that prayer, got louder all of a sudden. Like he acknowledged that you were there, or at least acknowledged that someone was there.
Yeah.
But right now he is mute as a tomb, and I think that's just a French expression. Silent as the grave, I think in English. Yeah. Anyway, he's quiet, and he's just, not trying to move or listen, really.
Prisoner 454. Could you
He's-
please stand up?
He tries to stand, but then the chains that link him to the chair are not, especially the ones
Loose
around
enough.
his wrists. Yeah, they're not loose enough. They're not long enough for him to actually stand completely straight up.
Okay.
He can stand from the chair, but he'd be in that weird like half squatting position.
Got it. Okay. I go to him and I say, would you let me inspect you? I want to make sure if there are any injuries or anything on you, I know before we take you over. I guess I'll have to explain that to you in a minute.
Take me where?
So you weren't supposed to be here. You shouldn't have been here. And we will do our best to assist our host. Assist our host to make sure we return the favor for her hospitality and take you to where you belong.
And where is it that I belong?
You should know.
Can you make an insight check, Alice?
Dustin doesn't like sound like he recognized me.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to recognize your voice.
Interesting. Do you know why you're here? As I look through his wounds or injuries.
You notice that he's not famished. Like Marta told all of you earlier tonight. The food's not great, but because the entire complex is, magically heated, they have, you know, drinking water, they have food. Like, the prisoners aren't starved or sick or anything of the sort. You realize that he has a new scar that he didn't have before. It goes from basically the where the jawbone connects with the skull, and it goes down his neck on the side. Looks like someone.
Does it look like?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Does it look like it's cut, like a blade or something, or?
Yeah, it looks like a blade. Probably someone tried to. Probably someone tried to cut him down like vertically, and he moved to the side and was just hit like superficially across the face. Though the scar is deep, like it healed well, but you can see by the thickness of it, or the width, I should say, of the scar, like that was a good blow.
Does he answer to my question? That does he know why he's here?
He says, they told me I killed.
They told you, so you don't remember?
All that I know is that I have to be here. The reasons are unimportant.
Do you recall the reasons?
Someone will get me out.
Okay, well, that is me. I guess it's your lucky day. So, tomorrow morning is tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning we will be heading out, and take the boat and take you to somewhere where you need to be. And then maybe we can talk a little bit more about your purpose and what happened to you. But what's the last thing you remember?
He cocks his head at the mention of you, just laying out very simply how things are gonna go. And says, only someone very special will come and free me. How do I know this is not a trap? Some sort of trick? Torture?
I say pretty loudly, well, you're just a prisoner and you don't need to know any of that. You just are expected to do, what you're told. But as I'm inspecting the wounds and looking at the side of his face, I, brace brush my fingers against the scar and make sure my hair kind of touches his face, like he can feel me and my smell, everything as much as possible. And I very quietly say the chant he was saying back to him.
So it's really you.
Yes. But no one should know.
No one. Where are you going to bring me then?
We'll figure it out. Let's just get out of here first.
That was a phone ringing.
Oh, you just need to follow my lead.
Right. Before you go, I need to know. Did you hear them? The voices.
Yes.
They
That's
told you
what
to come here.
led me here.
Good.
How do you know?
It would be too suspicious if I were to start telling everything here. It would take too long, but wherever it is you want to bring me, I can explain on the way.
Okay. So, we have a group. I met them on the road, but they're a good bunch and they'll protect you. So, just trust us and we'll get out of here. Promise you.
Okay. Anything that I have to do?
Just be agreeable with everyone, I guess, until we can get out and, you know, try not to raise any suspicions, but if it comes to it, be ready.
I will. And like he sits back down.
When he sits back down, I kind of like walk around the chair and like kind of telling him about, you know, what time, the logistics of when we're leaving and all that stuff, while doing that with my finger on his back, like I spell miss you.
He doesn't have anything to write, but with his middle right finger, like he begins to just like write or brush the table and also write. It's been too long.
I say, okay, see you in the morning, prisoner. And I head out so that, you know, nobody come in looking for us or
No, well, the
in there
moment
for
you
too long.
open the door, you see Etin trying to convince the guard to give up his life and instead become a fisherman. But the guard could not be any happier to see you out of the room and immediately cuts off. Etin looks at you and asks, "Are you done with the prisoner?"
Yeah, for now.
Thank
Make
the
sure
gods.
his wounds are taken care of. I don't want to deal with any infections or anything along the way. And
Ooh,
he's
that's
well
okay.
fed.
I can heal him with the light of Lathander.
Thank you, Etin. That will be very helpful.
Okay.
And let's make sure he has plenty to eat and ready for the long trip ahead of us.
He the guard like nods courteously, but says at the same time, "So long as the warden orders it."
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of, oh yep,
I'm
oh,
good.
speaking of the warden, we'll go back up a couple 100 feet. Marta is sitting at her desk. She motions Ragnar to sit across from her. There's it's a rickety chair, but does the job. Doesn't really have much to entertain visitors. The rest of her office, by the way, because I know, you know, Bird Sarkia saw it, but just to refresh people's sorry, memories, just in case. This is a small office slash bedroom. So you're sitting across from her desk, but like about 1.5 feet behind you is a single bed. Next to that bed, at the foot of the bed, there's a cabinet with 2 drawers underneath. And there's barely enough room to open the doors of that cabinet before you hit the door of the room itself, the bedroom door. Her desk occupies basically the other half of this rather cramped living situation. But she's made it as livable as possible compared to the rest of the complex. Like, there's a map of Icewind Dale framed on the wall. There's a few pots with flowers in them. None of them have wilted, but they're not in the best of conditions either. And she asks, "Do you want anything to drink?"
I would walk over to the pots. I assume they're on like the open windowsill that Sarkia knocked herself unconscious on.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I knocked myself unconscious on the force field of Windex.
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Yes, I would go over to the open window, sort of lean out and to look out against that, and reply in Dwarven that yes, I wouldn't mind something to drink, and then smile to her and be like, "So, where shall we begin?"
We begin with ya going to grab some alcohol down in the reserve. Sorry. I have, and she opens up a drawer and gets like a nice little crystal bottle. It's about like 1/3 full. She says, "All I have left is bourbon that was given to me by Lord Neverember."
Oh, the Lord. Well, I suppose we'll have to make do.
Oh. It was a more of an obligation on his part than an actual gift. So don't expect anything. She says as she opens up the bottle and pours 2 glasses, hands you one. And also that should keep I was gonna say Jothra, but it's Flax. That should keep Flax quiet for a while.
Don't like the Dwarvish ton very much, huh?
Every time he comes out, the GM really wants to do the dwarven voice and fucks up his throat even more, so let's keep the dwarf quiet.
Let's keep Zoltan on the down low right now. That's your Zoltan voice.
So you're friends, quote unquote, with Lord Neverember, and yet you got a posting all the way up here in the frozen north. How does that happen?
I drew the short straw, would you believe it?
Not usually.
She looks at you a little bit suspiciously, like peers her eyes and says, "You've seen mine, but can I see yours?" Before I say anything.
I haven't even finished my drink yet. Usually I require at least 1 or 2 before clothes come off.
I meant your instrument.
So did I. And after a moment I'll pause and I'm assuming my Harper insignia is going to be that little gold ring that I had at the start of the campain.
That can work.
Yeah.
Because
that's
hers is
the
a
only
little
special
charm.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks at it and says, "All right, I know I can trust you."
Yes, well,
The
trust
cell-
is a large word, yes.
We both work for the same pauses. Just leave it at that.
See about that. That's one of the confusing tangles as to why I'm here and related to someone you have here, and one of the questions I have as to why I'm here.
Well, let's untangle this mess. Ragnar? Why are you here? Who's this person?
Well, you know, I have a contact, friend, mentor, as it were. You know, someone watches my back, gives me talking to every now and then, as it were. My general contact back with the band, as it were. And not even a 10-day ago, I was dealing with them, you know, farther back home. And then I come up here and I see them in a prison cell, which doesn't make sense because they shouldn't be in the prison cell at all. So I just need to know, how long have you had this person in the prison cell versus how long the person I think I've been working with outside has been working outside?
I can only
A
assume you
female.
speak of... Okay. We only had 2 rather new prisoners. One of them, yes. A peculiar case. She demanded to be let in.
I'm sorry, what?
She came. I don't remember who was on the patrol that day. I had sent a few of my guards. I think Merrick was the one leading that patrol. Anyway, they went to Lonelywood to get some supplies, and she met them there and asked to be taken prisoner.
How long ago was this?
It was about 10 days ago. 12 days?
That. Did she tell you who she was?
Yes. She called herself Laura. Laura of Brinchander.
Laura.
Yes. She said that she was to be the next sacrifice because those people down in Brinchander are desperate. Desperate times and all that, but according to her, she gamed the system so that she wouldn't be sacrificed. And that is a crime punishable by death, according to the Brinchander new laws. Call them laws. The thing is well, and she opens a drawer and gets Beldora's clasp, puts it on the desk. She had this on her.
And that's the knot I was talking about.
That's why we haven't sent her back to Brinchander yet. The problem is she does not want to say anything.
Even though you quite clearly have yours.
Yes, well, according to Laura, there is a grand conspiracy across the north, where a loose alliance of fiends are seeking to usurp the lives of, well, many of the influential Ten-Towners. She says nobody can be trusted, thus I cannot be trusted.
Well, I like your dwarf, and honestly, you look a little, I don't want to say wet behind the ears, but they wouldn't have just shoved you up here for no reason.
Oh, no, yeah, the short straw story. Things were rather peaceful down in Neverwinter lately, and I and Vlax may have caused an international incident.
I knew it. You're up here for the same, well, not the same reason I'm here, but the Harpers tend to put people up here in Icewind Dale because they don't know what else to do with them.
Yeah. We are the difficult children of the organization. This is our timeout, apparently.
Yes. But that does mean I can trust you, so she's right. There is a conspiracy. I killed a changeling not 10 days ago. And that's the real reason. I mean, I was telling you part of the truth just a moment ago, but the real truth is that I killed a changeling after I uncovered a fiend cult. Well, not really a cult. I uncovered a changeling had infiltrated one of the leaders of 10 towns and had essentially influenced him into a position. Unpleasantness. I may have burned down the mayoral house, and there was some murder involved. And I got a strange vision because there was quite a lot of chardling, and I saw this prison and her here, which is how I knew that the person I was dealing with wasn't her, which only makes me think there's more of these damn changelings or other around. Because I dealt with Laura downstairs much less than 10 days ago.
Then
There was an organization of fiends taking over Icewind Dale. Yes.
yeah.
Sounds pleasant. And I'm just going to down the rest of the bourbon in one go.
She hasn't touched her glass yet. She just watches you downing yours in silence. And when you set your glass back down, she says, "Do you think any of this is connected to the frost, the eternal winter?"
Oh, the goddamn frost bitch! I don't. Only in the sense that it's more of a mess and people will take advantage of it. I don't think the goddess cares. Why would any of the gods care?
Shay. Okay. Well, if everything is true as she said, that means that she would be one of us. Why would she willingly commit herself here?
She knew it was one of the most secure places up here. And she knew I would come looking for her. And she must have known that your posting would be up here and that you would be easy enough to suss out over time.
she downs her glass and makes this face. And then says, I think we owe Laura a visit. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. She'll probably be expecting us.
And she gets up from her chair. At that moment, Sarkia, on the other side, you heard, like, there's no soundproofing in that room.
Okay.
So you basically heard everything. But then you hear, like, her chair scrape along the...
I'm really confused
floor.
by the whole I showed you mine because I don't know that's a pin. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. Oh dear.
So you have, like, a few seconds before she opens the door after you hear her getting up from her chair. What do you do?
I will attempt to run and lay back down on the table.
Hey, make a deception check.
Great. I have a -1. This is gonna be great. That's 18.
You're a very good corpse.
All right.
I've done it a few times at this point.
What's your passive insight, Ragnar?
I think it's just 14 or 15.
Okay.
Insight? Oh, 13. Yeah, no.
Okay. And I don't think that Marta has. Let me see. Yeah, no, she's got an 11. So when she opens the door, Sarkia is laying on the table as she was earlier. And she motions for you to exit her room, says after you. We have other interrogation rooms downstairs, so we won't be bothering your 2 other friends.
But Sarkia unfortunately would be slightly startled and just say 2? Because she thinks she's the only one in here. She's a little tired.
I was like, oh.
Hold on 1 second. I will switch headsets so that I'm not cutting out Simon.
No, I was just Ragnar was just like, oh, it looks like this one's awake.
It does. Do you need anything to eat or drink, Sarkia? I'll take it by your silence that you do not want anything.
I always want food.
If you want, I can...
This is my air traffic controller headset.
I can show you to the... I can show you to the kitchens.
Hey. Where's the... Ragnar.
I'm standing right here.
There was a... She kind of looks like she's counting. Where's the dwarf? I heard a dwarf.
When did you hear a dwarf? Because
What?
now I'm suspicious.
No, I didn't hear anything. I was asleep. She
That's
tries,
even
she tries
more
her most,
suspicious.
She tries her best smile.
Marta walks with a decided step up to Sarkia, and she takes her wand out of her holster, the one with the silver charm, and she presses the silver charm on Sarkia. And looks to Ragnar and says, okay, no, silver doesn't do anything. She's not a shapeshifter.
No, she's just...
Oh, don't. We're not going to talk about shapeshifters.
No, she's aware of the shapeshifter, but...
What do you mean aware of the shapeshifter?
She was there.
She killed me!
It's a long story.
Oh.
I mean, I killed her.
Yes, we killed the shapeshifter.
The changeling, okay.
Yes.
then I suppose I can trust you too.
No, not with everything.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh,
It means you should get your dinner before you have talk about the rest. You're always cranky.
I'm not hungry.
Well, then
I'm
if
just.
you're
I've been laying on a table. Why am I on a table?
your tall, furry blue friend brought you in, said that you had suffered some sort of concussion out in the snow. They were a little vague on the details, but you needed a warm place to rest until you woke up, and
Yeah, I remember something about Ragnar wanting to bury me in snow. We're gonna have to talk about that one at some point. But I mean, I'm perfectly fine. Let's go. Do something. What are we doing?
downstairs.
You're going to get some
Are we
food.
here?
You can wait here if you wish and look for that dwarf. Now I'm just going to look at her very suspiciously as I say that.
What dwarf?
Exactly. The two of us have business downstairs.
When Ragnar turns to leave, Sark is going to kind of pull the sleeve of Marta and kind of pull her in. Down, because he's scared.
Stage whisper, your microphone's cutting off.
Sorry, I said he burned down the house because he scared himself.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no, you never get to live that one down. That's like you scared yourself.
And she follows Ragnar, but like one step further back than she was earlier. As you come down the stairs, down the tower, you would at this point, Ragnar, cross path with Alize and Etten, who are coming out of the interrogation area. So they're basically going back in, following the guard who's got this like shackled drow, bringing him to his cell, and Marta just snaps her finger and says, the newest, yeah, right after, we need to talk to her.
Talk to who? Sarkia's right behind her.
I thought you were staying upstairs.
Well, no, he wanted me to stay upstairs. There's a difference.
Yes, and Alize and Etten can take you upstairs since you're clearly still injured. Etten, she fears we have hit her head harder than we thought.
Where are you headed?
To talk to another prisoner.
Which prisoner?
Another prisoner.
Sarkia opens her mouth and then looks at Ragnar and then closes her mouth again.
Are we taking anybody else?
I don't know. We are going to have to see. That's why we're talking to her. Well, that's why I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to be with the warden, don't worry. I'm not.
Okay, I'll come.
No. Should be in the warden.
I said I was going first.
I like that everyone wants to come along
You
with me.
already got to interrogate somebody. I've been sleeping on a dinner table.
I'm sorry, I don't understand why you have to even talk to another prisoner. Like we are just here
For what? The
We're-
night to rest.
for the night and we are about to leave. So what, like, who is this person?
I don't know. That's why I'm investigating. I am a bounty
Are
hunter
you
by
talking
trade,
to all
remember?
the prisoners?
No, not all the prisoners.
So what's special about this one?
That's why I have to interrogate them.
So are you gonna interrogate all of them?
Just this one.
Why this one?
Because she might be a bounty hunter she might be a bounty that is related to, my previous time before I got stuck up with all the rest of you.
Would they cause any trouble for us if you need to bring her?
If she's the bounty, no. God, no. If she's the bounty, she'll be something I report on and come back for later. It's not even
Okay.
not even a large bounty. Something I can check in and collect later, so that I don't have to split it with a lot of you.
Lovely.
It's going to take just a few moments. But before you do, and you would see like in the background the guard going into the cell, Laura's cell. She turns to Alize and says, "So will you be taking prisoner 454 down to Helm's Watch?"
Yes.
Okay. I will, well, right after this, meet me upstairs. I'll have everything ready, all the paperwork ready for them to take charge of him.
Okay. Sounds good. I did notice some wounds on him, so if you don't mind making some note of it, that way they know that we didn't do anything, damage the goods.
Oh. Yes, I'll have someone do that. We don't normally check for wounds when they come in unless they're, open wounds. But that is true. You don't want to be accused of torture or anything of the sort by the time you get to the Helm's Watch. I'll have someone on that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll meet you upstairs.
All right. Actually, if you would just excuse me 1 second, I'll go grab that person right away, so we can have that taken care of as fast as possible.
Sure.
So she leaves. It takes a whole 2 minutes. She basically leaves by one of the doors that are in. You remember when you came in and they made you visit the prison? She told you about these hidden, quote unquote, corridors that go all around the complex, so the guards can move quickly. So she goes through that and comes back a few minutes later with a rather impressive floating creature. It's like a giant head covered in green scales, with one giant eye in the middle and 4 eye stalks that come out of every of its back, I guess. And she says, "This is Monocle. He's very good at watching. He'll..."
But of course you are.
The
Do not.
mini beholder turns toward Regnar and says, "I like to watch."
Oh, no.
He'll be, he'll catalog every wound or every scar that prisoner 454 has. Right, Monocle? And the spectator goes, "I will count them all, one by one." And she points the cell and the floating spectator just flies. You're fairly certain that if it had a body, it would be skipping. The way it bobs as it flies up to Rinal's cells.
It likes its work, It enjoys its job.
He's he watches over the armory normally. Marta says. He's harmless, by the way. Well, I mean, he's not harmless. He's a deadly, powerful creature, but he's on our side.
Mm.
And,
I'm-
oh, yeah, I was going to say, I would like all three of you to make a perception check.
Oof.
Perception.
No, I mean. Oh, I have +4.
Yeah. Wow. On the thing, I've actually got a decent bonus too. 8.
Yeah, so
I
did
got a
Noct-
5 on a +4.
That one.
Yeah, you just hear as the spectator flies away almost out of earshot. You hear him say, "Please get naked. I need to watch."
Nope. Don't like that. Don't like that at all.
And
We found a sociopathic beholder. So like.
she will motion to Ragnar to follow her in the interrogation room. As for the other two,
4. It's a full group now.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, that's true. Eden is also there. Ooh, Eden's a priest. I'm going to need your help. And Eden is, of course, happy to help with another Zone of Truth. But she will ask Alisaie and Sarkia to stay outside of the interrogation room. Because this is a very private matter between the three of us. And she points, herself and Ragnar, and then just the door to the interrogation.
I feel
We'll
like I'm
just
getting
say
left out
it's
of
bird
everything here.
people stuff as a joke.
So what?
I'll say it's bird people stuff as a joke and wink as I close the door.
Ragnar, do you want to be able to lie?
No, I'd rather not have to lie through all this. Especially because then Etten would know that I'm willingly trying to lie here for some reason, and that would make him suspicious of me.
Again, same thing. Right before he leaves the room, Etten will lean between Ragnar and Marta and just say, "She can lie too. I think I need to go speak to Lathander."
No, I think maybe if we just, leveled up.
Oh, you weren't there last week. Depending on what happens this week, you might very well get your level tonight.
Yay!
So
Not with the nat ones we want.
so he leaves the room, and the moment he closes the door behind, I don't know if Sarkia and Alisaie are on the other side. But if you are, he will let you know right away that he needs to have a talk with Lathander.
Zones of truth aren't very truthy.
Yeah. So weird that the one spell that would be used to interrogate people in a prison is the one spell that fails constantly.
But Ragnar is totally telling the truth.
So
Always.
before you is Eldora. Chained up. The same way, ankles and wrists chained to the chair. She looks at the two of you come in and cocks her head at Ragnar. How do I know you're real?
I was going to be asking you the same thing, considering not even a 10-day ago, I bumped into you in town and you gave me an entire dog team.
I certainly didn't, but
So it would seem.
no, it's not surprising either. They... And she looks... Like, she says they, trails off, looks at Marta, at you, back at Marta. Is she...
I mean, I would make a big show of like touching into the silver that Martha's holding, and then touching the silver that she has to Martha, and be like, I mean, not a changeling. I've already killed one of them.
Oh, they're not changeling, Ragnar. They're worse than
Oh.
that.
Worse.
Yes. So that's the reason why I came here. I knew you would be looking for me if something was to happen, or if I started behaving oddly.
You weren't behaving odd. Well, you were a bit nicer.
No, the other reason why is because I was tracking down another of them.
Up here?
There are several fiends already in Icewind Dale. It took a long while for me to realize what was happening. I mean, they are very good at what they do. Someone, or a group of someone, is all I knew so far. Not the Zents, which is surprising. Though we need to keep an eye on them, but it's actually our good friends from Luskan. The Arcane Brotherhood has seemingly made a pact with a group of fiends. Actually, I should phrase that. Mostly demons.
I think I know which one.
That would be one. Let's just hope it's not the one that's here, then.
Well, I hope it's not the one that's here. If that statue was any indication, the material plane is better off if he is nowhere near it.
Well, I don't know who exactly you're talking about, but given their powers, I would expect you not to say their name out loud. I do not know the name of the one that's in here at the moment. All that I know is that we have to be wary of anyone coming from Luskan. And it just so happens that this one was paraded across the streets of Bryn Shander. You've probably seen him, a blind drow male.
I've heard of him.
He's not. It's not him.
How do you know it's not him?
Because they killed me, or at least tried to kill me when I tried to find someone to exorcise the poor drow. See, when they were parading everyone across Bryn Shander, I figured something was up. They... I can't really put my finger on it, but all three of them, the prisoner and his guards, they acted too much in concert. Like it was a like it was a play or some sort of, I don't know, setup or something else. They didn't stay too long in town, but I made sure to pull a few strings and delay them as much as possible, and asked Mishan for help. It just so happens that priests are able to discern when people aren't themselves, or when they're inhabited by someone else. At least of the devilish kind.
True.
She basically pretended to protect them from the cold. She used holy water. They didn't like that. Not one bit.
That would be where he killed the 2 guards?
No. They were all in on it.
Well, he's in here because he's accused of murdering his 2 guards.
I don't know exactly what his endgame is, but from what I heard when I was lying in the snow, bleeding out, and one of them, through whatever powers they have, took my appearance. They wanted him to be here. It's like a giant trap. I don't know for who. They kept talking that they were looking for someone more important than the 3 of them. I couldn't get a lot more information aside from that. I was rummaging through their belongings when they caught me. And Simon needs 2 seconds because he needs to verify if something in 5th edition is still the same as it was in older edition. Ah!
With D&D Beyond, you can access just about anything you need.
This is what I'm doing. So I think it's only flavor now in I think it's only flavor in 5th edition. But if I remember correctly, demons in the Forgotten Realms are vulnerable to cold iron, like Fae. Or was it something else? Might have been something else. Anyway, let's say it's cold iron for now. She had, it's either that or silver or something like that. She had a dagger made of that, and when she stabbed one of them when she was found, the reaction was like confirmed everything. So in their belonging, what she discovered was that there is something going on in Caer Dineval. The 2 guards were heading that way after delivering their prisoners.
Heard that name before.
Yeah, well. So, I don't know what they plan on doing, but all I know is that those of them who aren't able to assume the shape of someone, they force the spirit out. And they keep the spirits somewhere. Probably, I figure, in Caer Dineval. I don't know what for, but it cannot be good if the Arcane Brotherhood is working with them.
Why would they be collecting souls? Never for any good reason.
Unless the Arcane Brotherhood wants souls for something. Otherwise, demons would keep the souls for themselves. It's like currency to them. I couldn't find more than that. I figured I might as well follow him here and see who tries to spring him out. And she looks at Marta, and then I would just engineer my escape and follow after him.
True enough. You don't suppose you mind if we follow up on your story here a moment?
No. What do you want to?
I'm gonna knock on the door and I'll just say, Etten,
Oui.
would you come in here a moment?
He opens the door. Hmm.
Would you bless my friend here?
By the power invested in me by Lathander, I bless you. And like he taps Baldora on the shoulder. There's the same light, the same, effects. Baldora just looks a little confused and awkward, but she now has an extra D4 on her saving throws and attack rolls.
I just looked at her and Martha and I'm like, he's a priest. I just wanted to make sure she wasn't one of these things she's accused him, is talking about.
Makes sense. I think I should, and she gets up. I think I should notify your other friend. I don't think getting prisoner 454 out of here is a good idea.
No, and for what they're saying, I think prisoner 454 might be the least of your problems. It might be the problem. Well, no, I think the problem might be somebody we have.
Baldora looks at the two of you and says, unless you do just that.
What? Nothing.
Hear me out. Whatever plan the demon has, he wants to be freed from here. If he is freed, you'll automatically know what, or at least you will know what their next step is going to be. The fact that we know that they are up to something, we have this advantage.
It's not a trap if you know you're stepping into it ahead of time. I'm assuming Etten's still just standing here confused, which just makes this even better.
Etten is like, but this is Alice's boyfriend?
Well, not likely.
Shit. Alice, did you mention it in-game? Because I think I just did some meta.
I did.
Okay.
They knew.
Remember, because he offered them intimacy in the
Oh,
text.
yeah, to Mary, yeah. Then I think we ought to let her know that something is wrong with her bow.
That the man she loves might actually be a demon, and that he wants to kill her and all of us. I don't know if that'll go very well, Ed. What about you?
I trust that Alice will know what to do.
Well, what do you think she you would do first thing? Probably say no. Ragnar's lying. What's wrong with you? You're liars. Why are you trying to take this from me? Followed by some sort of attack or running away with the said possible demon guy, right?
Not unless we tell her that this is all part of a plan.
Or, and here's the better plan. This is one you're probably gonna like. How about you use your detection? This way you can, detect right away if he's, a demon or good or evil or the like. And we go along with this plan of just letting him out. And also this way, if he is a demon and his proper soul is locked away somewhere, and at that I'm gonna look to Marta and Beldora shrugging I have no idea if this is actually a thing. And if that's true, then maybe you can help us stop the demon, and then we can go rescue his soul.
Ooh, I know. I needed to speak with Lathander. Give me a night. And he looks to Marta and Beldora. Give me a night. I will actually save Alize's boyfriend.
I mean, we weren't gonna go anywhere tonight, so pray all you need, big guy. And I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder.
And for now,
we hope everything's okay. And when I say hope, it kind of sounds like I'm saying a naughty word.
So he will exit the room. Marta will follow. I'm gonna paraphrase this, because we're gonna go to a break in a few seconds. But to keep up appearances, Beldora will remain, shackled as a prisoner. But she will be released in your care. The same way that Renil is supposed to be released in your care tomorrow. So that way, it doesn't look too suspicious. And then we'll reconvene in the room upstairs, or maybe skip to the next day already if no one has anything else to add. Or to say after we come back from break. So stick around, everyone. Give us about 5 minutes. We need at least that long for Tumai to scream. And we will be right back, everyone.
Icewind Dale, home to the most hardened of frontiersmen, pioneers, and nomads. Beyond the sporadic dots of civilization dwells terrifying beasts and deadly monsters. Each night, before midnight, Oril takes to the sky and weaves her spell of ice and darkness. For 2 years, the north of Faerun has been covered in everlasting rime. From Dugan's Hole to Lonelywood, from high atop Kelvin's Cairn down to Mare Duwalden. Hungry and cold, the population of Icewind Dale huddles together in empty homes, praying to the gods to end Oril's reign. Their prayers were answered. Heroes summoned by fate have vowed to break the Frost Maiden's spell.
And we are back. So before we go ahead and get this long rest underway, anything y'all would like to do? Because otherwise we're gonna skip to the next morning. Alright. The next morning you all awake in your cell. And Etin just silently opens the door and looks to everyone and says, "Good morning. I will be right back." And he walks up to Rinal's cell. And with your passive, like all of you, your passive perception is high enough that you can hear. Etin is not going to try to keep his voice down. And you can hear him say to Rinal, "We just need, before we leave, to make sure that you are safe from diseases and other types of bad things. So I will just..." And you hear him mutter a prayer. And then hear a scream.
Haha. Oops.
Damn it, Etin.
It begins in Rinal's voice. A scream of pain. But as his voice changes to some sort of unnatural wail of some kind, there is also a high-pitched scream of fear coming from Etin. And just him shouting to the three of you, I need help.
Yeah, I would have already started
Yes.
running as soon as.
So
I mean, I
Zephyr-
would have like sort of peeked out of the cell once that and was like, "I'll be right back," and I would have been like, "Please don't. What are you doing?" At? And then once that started, I would have just like been like, "God damn it!"
Yeah, Sarkia would have been running when she heard the scream to begin with.
Eliza too, but more of like defensive position for my love versus, Etin.
All right.
Like worried that Etin is trying to do something to him.
Let me just grab some. Well, we don't necessarily need the minis for this, but I will ask all of you to roll for initiative.
Are we fighting Reno? Oh no. My heart.
Alize with 22. And Ragnar?
Should be on there, right? 10.
And Ragnar 10. And for the purposes of our fight, we'll skip Etin, but the guards will play on initiative count 1. If you need help, I say guards, but like if you need help from Etin, like a cure wounds or something like that, he can act then. But I'm just not going to Jaeger him the whole way. I mean, a fight needs a fight music. Is it loud enough?
It's good.
Then, as you rush to in the direction of the scream, Alize running the first, actually, you see Rinal's body on the ground, face first. He seems unconscious, except that right above him, above and a little bit behind, is this tall, goat-headed humanoid. Their skin is blue, but covered in pinkish scars. It's got a wicked barb at the end of its tail that looks more like frayed wires than like a scorpion's barb, and its face is marred with these big pustules. And it shouts in a goat-like voice at Etin, "You're ruining everything!" I sent it to Roll20 for the players to see. And maybe for chat to see a little if I scroll up.
Wow.
So yeah. Alize, what do you do?
How tall is this thing?
I mean, it would stand about 6'10". Like, I mean, it's tall, but it's not like giant-sized.
Okay, so I will dive in there, seeing him, Rinal obviously on the floor and him behind him. Is it the way is clear? Like, can I shout the table towards him?
So there is, because he's in a cell, I'll remind you there is nothing in these cells.
Oh, I was thinking interrogation room. Okay, so there's nothing in there now. Okay, so I'll just pull my wakizashi and attack him.
All right.
So I'll try to like slash him from the waist.
Slice him up. That would be a 19 and not a crit because you don't have advantage on that. But 19 is a hit.
Okay.
That big thing is practically naked.
And you already have my damage, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So
So-
9. Oh, yeah.
So I'll also, like, after I move in with my weapon, also
Oh.
turn around and try to smack him with my elbow on the chin.
All right. Just so you know, I'll count that as a sneak attack because Etten is right next to him. Because he just touched Rinnel. So go ahead and roll that punch. That's a crit. You can just click on the pink name, unarmed strike in chat, and it'll roll for damage. For an extra 12. You basically gut him with one hand and suck him across the jaw with the other. As you do so, there's like a handful of teeth that go, scattering across the prison, the cell, like, floor. Turns back to you and just looks at you with its like milky white eyes and says, we have to keep your soul intact, but they said nothing about your body. And it's going to basically whip you with its tail, or at least try to. There's a 13 hit.
Sorry, muted. No.
All right, so you deftly dodge out of the way of the tail, which just like stabs or whips, I should say, the floor behind you, and you notice as it, as the demon brings its tail back up, that there's this like slimy, greenish substance that wasn't there earlier that now coats the tip of its tail. Ragnar, you're up.
That definitely is a demon. So I will take a moment to cast protection from evil on myself.
Ents. You are, what is it again? It's oh yeah, they have disadvantage if they want to attack you, and they cannot try to possess you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that you want to do on your turn?
No, and it's not any sort of demon or like I'm familiar with.
You could roll religion.
Let's see.
By the way, your cell would have been here. Just so you know, so you're somewhat close. With a 14, you've heard of these demons. They're called Bilazou, or actually, they're called
Bulazau.
Bulazou. Thank you, Marisha. And what they do, or what they are, is they're basically the spreaders of diseases. They are like pestilence given form. They're not particularly strong. They're hardy because of, by virtue of their demonic heritage. But otherwise, they're not at the top of the ladder.
Yeah. But all the more reason not to be touched by them.
No, actually, those who are touched by them let's say a regular person, even if you survive the hit, you will die 24 hours later.
So not fun. So yeah, no, I will be standing, outside the cell there after, casting my spell there and, yelling a warning there to, don't let it hit you kind of a thing.
All right. Then it's Alizé's turn. Not Alizé, sorry. It's Sarkia's turn.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I heard Alize. So, how the cells aren't big, right? They're not very big.
Oddly enough, like, the scale for this map is 1 square is 10 feet.
Okay, but Alize, Etten are both in close quarters.
No, sorry, it's 1 square is 5 because they're the tiny squares. My bad. Yeah, so the cells are like 10 feet wide by like 20-ish feet deep. And right now, if I had to put like minis to give you an idea.
I mean, it's just they're Alize's within 5 feet of him, so I can't do what I was gonna do.
Yeah,
I'll do
Alize is
something
within
else.
5 feet. So is Etten.
Yeah.
However, like, there's still I don't know if it's like an area of effect or whatever, but like there's still room in back of the person.
It would be from me to it, therefore.
Oh, okay. I know you'd have to, if it's what I think it is, you'd have to enter the cell and basically be next to it.
It's yeah, not gonna work. So instead, I will stay as far back as possible and toss a Scorching Ray, which is going to be 3. Roll. I forgot to do the hold on. I forgot to do the to hit first. My bad. It's not going to hit. 12.
12 doesn't, but 21 does.
21 was the damage.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the attack roll.
No. Okay, so that no.
The
It's
first ray 12 misses.
Okay.
Second ray.
Second ray. 18 to hit.
That hits.
That's supposed to be 3d6. I don't know why it's.
No, that's.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, that was 2d6. Correct. 3d6 on the higher level. Okay, so that's 6 damage, and for the third one.
Why is it 6 damage? It rolled a 4, a 1. Oh, it's only 2d6.
It's 2d. It's 3d6 at a higher level. If I cast it at a higher level,
okay.
I don't have a higher level yet.
Then yes, the second
13
one
again.
hits too. The third one hits too. Yeah.
10.
Ooh.
So 16 damage total. Fire.
So less effective than you thought.
Mm-hmm.
He's not.
I don't have
immune.
much else.
And in fact, when you burn him, you basically lance a bunch of its boils on him.
Ew.
And at the
Cauterize
side,
it.
at the side of it, like healing in a way, it screams in panic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I forgot one thing. No, it's Alizé's turn, so I didn't forget anything. Did you want group? Did you want Etten to do anything?
Get out of range.
You will disengage.
You're muted. You're muted, honey.
I mean, we'd be yelling at Etten, it's
Get
a
out,
demon.
Get out. So Etten can disengage and at least take himself out of immediate striking distance.
If the two of you want to have, line of sight. Alizé, at the start of your turn, you're gonna have to make a Constitution saving throw. Yeah, you're fine. It's just you realize from its wounds there are these little like mayflies that have started pouring out, and they're trying to get into your mouth.
Oh! Okay.
It's your turn.
Okay. So how likely is that if I try to stab a dagger to his tail to like plant his tail onto the ground, and then just do like a kick to his knees to bring him down.
I'd say the attack for his tail would have disadvantage because he moves it around and everything. But if you do hit, like you'll pin it to the ground, he won't be able to use it.
Okay.
And then afterward, the kick would just be like your regular unarmed attack.
Yeah. Let's try it.
With a 10, that misses. You miss by like not even an inch, but it just moves its tail away like it knows. Like half a second before you do something, it's like it knew what you were going to do.
And then, in that case, I'll disengage and like roll out the way.
All right. It will jump out of the cell, and basically, seeing how everyone is here. No, actually, I'll. If you don't mind, I'll retract that. He's not gonna jump out of the cell. He's going to grab Rinnel by like his clothes and just say to the group, if another one of you hits me, he dies for real. And like he's got his tail just like slowly moving about like the general vicinity of Rinnel's face.
I'll scream stop to everyone.
Ragnar, do you?
Mute it.
I'm back here with everyone. I'm already back here, so I just. I'm just gonna, tell her, it's a demon. It's lying. But. I use my hunter's sense on it.
You can best to hurt it. Oh. Alright. So you just, focus.
Focus on
the
it.
Demon. So it is resistant to cold, fire, and lightning. It is immune to poison, to fright, and to charms. The best way to kill it is to ensure that it doesn't have room to flee. Basically, if it has a roof above its head, it can't use most of its abilities. Or at least, can't use one of its, I'm not gonna say strongest ability, but that thing jumps like crazy. So if you're fighting outside, it can flee very quickly. You're better off shooting at it than going toe-to-toe. That's all I can say.
I just, tell the demon is like, why don't you, put the dead man down? He's already too weak anyways. And, that'll just be my turn.
Alright. Sarkia?
I'm a little worried about damaging the person, the demon thing now. Okay. Okay, I'm not strong enough to do that. Crap. Oh well. I'm going to hold my action with another Scorching Ray.
Yeah.
If somebody can get the guy away.
Etten will just look to Alize, waiting for your instructions, basically. You're muted.
Is there? Sorry, I'm not familiar with Ettin's like spells or powers. So is there anything he can do that will like weaken him at this point, or?
I can. You know right now that Etten has never been able to bring someone back from the dead. And you've never really seen Etten. Were you there when Etten got pissed for the first time?
Yeah. At the bar.
So you know that it can do the same thing that same spell that Sarkia just did, throwing rays of fire, though his are like divine light, but same thing.
Okay, I like hold my hand up to Etten, like just be ready, and I say, "What do you want?" to Demon.
You to come with me to Caer Dineval.
Why?
Know why. Just come, and he shakes Rinnel, or he dies.
I'll come with you if you leave him be.
Make a persuasion check. He says, "And how do I know you're not going to betray me?"
How can I betray you? You seem to be very powerful, and all of us don't even have enough strength to beat you.
It is true that I am very powerful. He begins to lower Rinnel and starts walking toward you with this weird gait that he has. He's just dragging Rinnel. Like his legs are on the ground, and he's just dragging him like a grocery bag. And he says, "I'm just going to take control of your body until we get to Caer Dineval. I won't want you to run away after all."
You look like you're very strong and fast. I don't think that's your worry. But likewise, I don't trust you either. So you let him go first. Let him take him to safety, and then you can take me.
Roll a d3. He's gonna throw the body 1 at Sarkia, 2 at Ragnar, 3 at Etten. Ragnar.
Do I get an action?
Throws the body at you. Yeah, I mean, we're not in combat, so you can all react whenever you feel like it. I know Sarkia also had a held action. What do you do?
I'm gonna cast Zephyr Strike as he goes to throw it at me. So I'm moving very fast, and I'm gonna yell to Etten, I want you to hit me as hard as you can with your biggest spell, and I want to dive towards the demon to grapple him. I should say not your hardest spell, your holiest spell.
Oh, sneaky, sneaky.
You're going to have to help me here.
Mm.
What spell do you think he's going to cast?
Whatever the biggest, holiest spell Etten has. I know he has, like, didn't he have the Flaming Ball holy thing?
Yeah, he has Flaming Sphere. He also has Spiritual Weapon, or Scorching Ray. Or Burning Hands.
Burning Hands would require him to be in melee, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, he can conjure a ball of fire right where you are.
With Sarkia sees Ragnar dive towards it and scream at Etten. She will switch her held action if the DM allows it.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, we're not in combat. Well, not in combat. We are in combat, but, like, you know, we've basically turned this into sort of a surprise round.
Mexican standoff.
Oh, actually, no. Just have him make a straight intelligence saving throw.
Okay. So everything happens at once. The body is thrown. Ragnar dodges the body, charges at the demon, shouts to Etten. Etten lifts his holy symbol, and a sphere of bright light will form around both Ragnar and the demon. And at the same time, the demon might be affected by a mild headache. Oh, shit, intelligence? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
13.
Oh. It's meet or beat, right? So if he met it.
Yeah, the roller breaks dice.
He takes half the damage. He
yeah,
just
I was going to say
suffer any of the paralysis, which sucks.
But
it's still, me. Why would we think it would work?
Well, I was the one rolling. He holds like his head for a second as Ragnar jumps on him. I wanted to know, Alize, also, what do you do?
So how far am I from him?
20 feet.
Okay. I'll actually. Sorry, is Rinald's body out the room already, or is it like? Yeah. Okay. All right. I will just continue to attack him then. So
you're also going to jump on him?
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to hold on to his like horns.
Oh, okay. That would be a grapple check. So you can make an athletic check opposed by his either athletic or acrobatic. I want to know also, Ragnar, what type of attack are you doing?
Just grapple. I was just trying to grab onto him and hold him in place.
Then you too. Athletic versus his, he's going to do just regular strength. Not going to fight off Alize.
Nice.
But yeah, Ragnar, as you jump on him, he just like backhands you at the very last second, despite you being very quick. Oh, wait. Zephyr Strike, you can give yourself advantage on an attack roll, though.
Yeah, right.
Because I think it says it's if you use it for an attack, you have advantage. In this case, grapple is a type of attack. You would have advantage.
I can just roll it again.
Better, but not enough. Yeah, so he backhands you, but as he does so, the shining light appears around him. And he needs to make a dex save. That he fails pathetically. And, will take or fire damage. It is still alive and still fighting against all of you. Alisaie, you're holding him by the horns, leaving his entire body open, vulnerable. Do anyone want to do, even Alisaie, if you want to do something? The demon is practically out of breath at this point.
I want to try to slash his throat if I can. Holding on
You
to him.
can. Grapple doesn't. Does grappling give advantage again? I believe it does not. It just prevents him from running away. Yeah, basically he can't do anything. Can't move away. So you can still make an attack. He can still try to hold your arm. But make your attack roll. 23 hits. And with Ragnar right next to you, also weak. So yeah, with an 11, you slit open his throat in one motion. And before the body has enough time to fall down on the ground, it just fades away in a cloud of these little mayflies.
And I mean, they've never seen me look like this before. With all our fights and everything, it's just like, it was like Tarantino moment. Like, she really wanted to make it as gory as possible. Like, she just wanted
So let me
Move its head.
Let me redo that. Yeah, you remove his head, and there's just one spurt of blood that just on you. You notice that Rinnel is breathing. Hardly, but he is alive.
Okay. Run to him. Put my hand on his chest. And my other hand, trying to lift his head up a little bit. And I talk to him. Can you hear me? Are you okay? Please, please, please hear me.
He does not respond. Appears to be coma.
I call Etin. It's like, Etin, please help him do something.
Etin will give him a once over and turn to you and say, "Now don't be alarmed. There is nothing I can do. But that's because he is fine."
What do you mean he's fine?
The
Probably
body
needs
is
some
fine.
rest.
No, he needs a soul.
Oh, they took it.
So this is just his body, but his soul is not here. So what do we do with him? How long can his body stay okay without a soul?
Well, we're gonna have to find a way to feed him, but could theoretically live for as long as a dark elf would live.
And literally, Alisaie just sits down right next to him and starts crying with that shock of, she had finally found him and they were gonna walk out and it was gonna be so easy. Then she had to fight this evil creature, got rid of him, but still I don't know where his soul is. So she just loses it.
Oh.
And frantically crying.
Etin is going to put a hand on your shoulder and go, there. Don't cry. And then look to Sarkia and Ragnar. What are you two doing?
Ragnar is pinching the bridge of his nose.
Sarkia is not exactly the most comforting of people, and she knows this. So she's going to leave this one to Etten because I mean, if you really want me to say Sarkia to say something, it's probably going to be along the lines of, "You've got his body. Can't you just use that?" I mean, do we know where his soul would be? Is there a way to track his soul, Etten?
It's in Caer Dineval.
To what?
His soul is in Caer Dineval.
That's where they wanted to take Alize, right?
Yes.
Take him there.
Well, then, it seems we have to go to Caer Dineval. Do we?
Yes, we do.
I'm gonna go get the warden, or I'm just gonna step outside and I'm just gonna yell for one of the guards and start walking off in a direction.
You notice that all the guards were staring at the fight through like the arrow slits in their little bunker,
Helpful.
frozen in fear. When you slap some sense into one, they sprint upstairs. Takes like a minute for the warden to come back.
Good news and bad news.
Oh.
Or
What?
bad news and bad news.
Why is he out of his cell?
Can we just say news? Because, I mean, really, it depends on who you're telling it to.
Our friendly priest couldn't follow the plan, or either way, he decided to exorcise the demon on a bit early, and we did. And then I'll hold my hands out like, ta-da.
Why are you? She looks to Alice. Why are you?
But it wasn't him. It wasn't him then who killed those. It was a demon, right? So he's innocent.
Oh, she glances at Ragnar and says, "Yes. After yesterday, I figured the real Rinil, I think his actual name was. If that was his name,
That what?
someone here suspected something. And she'll bring Beldora, which regardless needs to be set free. And in the interest of time, Beldora will confirm that yes, she knew that the Rinil in jail was either a shape-shifting demon or was possessed. And that according to what she found, his soul, if it is still in Icewind Dale, will be in Caer Dineval. They have something there.
Alice is like still like almost in shock because she saw all the red flags. She felt something was off, but she wanted to believe it so much that like she had found him. Now she's just like almost back to square one, like kind of defeated, but like she sees that there's a direction.
You have the body, Etten will say. It's half of it.
Etten, I need all of them.
We'll find his soul, just like we will find Helifine, just like we found Sarkia's ghost,
What ghost?
and just like we will find. He looks at Ragnar.
Ragnar just looks at him and crosses his arms.
I don't know.
Compassion. We'll find his compassion.
I'm not the Tin Man.
No, that's a heart. We know that that's going too far.
Let's make haste to Caer Dineval then. No?
Yes. Yes.
Did I? Yeah, I guess I did promise get his soul, didn't I? I didn't actually think that would be a thing.
You did?
You did?
He did.
Did you know about this?
Oh, back when you were planning to, run off with your murdering demon boyfriend?
So why didn't you say anything, Ragnar?
We wanted to make sure that he wasn't a murdering demon boyfriend. We were kind of hoping he wouldn't be, or at least Staten was.
What he said.
Now we have his body safe. You're right.
Yes, and with the grace of Lathander, I can make sure that he survives the trek to Caer Dineval.
I just hope we can find Helifine on the way.
I hope so too. And with that, we're going to end tonight's session. We'll pick up next week when the party nears Caer Dineval.
His feathers. We can find Ragnar's feathers because he's got like skeleton wings.
And sorry, yes, to all of you, you gain a level.
Yeah. Now we're 7?
No, you're level 5.
Oh.
Come on. I'll let the others know, but that will be it for tonight. We have found half of Alizé's boyfriend. I will need the second half. Right now, I mean, you could probably weekend at Bernie's it.
Don't give us ideas.
But on that note, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you. Okay, two seconds. Players, if you want to shout out, do your things. I need to get a cat away from plants.
Hi everyone. I'm Tumai and you can find me on social media as Professor XR. And this is the only stream I'm in right now, but we are starting Prince William by Night in August. So I'm super excited about that. And I'll give you more information on that as we get close to the date.
Thank you to my Justin.
I'm Justin, aka Ragnar, aka How Do I End Up in These Situations? You can find me at Pirate Jesus _, and I'm doing the things. Usually, I just want to drink tea and other. Wow, that cat is gigantic.
He's huge,
Simon.
yeah.
Like a
Wow.
lion.
You know, is that Porthos?
No, that's Athos.
That's Athos. Okay.
I mean, it's one of the fates.
He lost.
No, that's Musketeers, honey.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah, Atropos. You're thinking Atropos.
Yeah.
Thinking of Atropos. Yeah, no, he likes to drink tea and cuddle the puppers.
Says who?
Uh-huh.
That is unbecoming of a man such as me.
Uh-huh, sure. He talks to him in a little baby voice.
And I'm Kelly, mostly known as the Opera Geek. This is said Puppers, who has been snoring for the past 25 minutes and now looks confused. I am normally on Let's Get Wild Mount, but we are in hiatus until July 10th. That's on Saturdays. So right now you can catch me on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, usually, on my channel, where right now we are finishing the Assassin's Creed Origins, in which we refuse to dress Bayek in anything but a bath towel because they gave me that costume and I'm going to use it. That's it. Hey, bud.
It's gotten so bad that my girlfriend woke up, and now the cat knows he's in trouble.
Oh.
That's it. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. I'm Simon at Wondering DM. You can find me back here on Wednesday for Malifaux, then on Thursday for Sentinels of the Multiverse, our superhero campaign. Malifaux being our horror Weird West campaign. And then there will not be a Cyberpunk this week because of national holiday. We will be there on Saturday for Scion. And then next Monday, this Sunday, you will also find me playing Vashard over on Praxagoras Mephorius channel as I finally get to record my one-on-one backstory session. So we'll see how that goes and what horrors will I be put through as I relive my younger days alone in the woods.
Dun dun dun.
That said, before we leave, we are going to go say hi to Etten, who is playing over on Norse Foundry. Justice has a wonderful cosplay tonight.
Oh, I have the earrings. I have the earrings from Norse Foundry right here.
So, let's go say hi, and we will see each of you again next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.